Hey, sports fans, we're here today, and we got a special treat for you today. First of all, we got our good buddy Dustin Slade is back with tinnitus in his ears from getting certified as on his dive. We've got a wonderful UK marketer who is the co-founder of Mastermind Fever over on Facebook, Aurora Jones. Wave to everybody, Aurora. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
And we've got the inimitable Melanie Hall with us today too. So, hey Melanie, how are you today?
Now I wave. Hi.
Did I cut off your wave, Dustin? Here we go.
There.
There we go. We've got the question and answers is on, so if anybody has any questions for us, feel free to chime in. I don't think we're wrangling comments anywhere today, so if you want to leave comments, we'll respond to them at the end of the day. But we want to talk a little bit about notifications, how to control your notifications, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Instagram today. And Dustin's going to be our Instagram guy. So let's kick it off with can you talk and hear okay, Dustin?
I can. I got my speakers set real low in these headphones, so I hear you.
Okay.
It's lucky you can't hear what I'm hearing inside my head.
Ooh. Yeah, man. I had that a little bit one time, but it made me nuts. So anyway, well, if you want to, how do you want to do? You want to share the screen and let me turn the chat on.
Why don't we dive into Google here, and then I just have a couple quick tips with Instagram that I've learned just recently that I think are really killer and really can save you some time while you're posting pics.
Okay. Well, let's start with Melanie, because Melanie, you said you had something that you just found out about on the notifications that you wanted to share with people.
Yes, this is fresh off what I learned yesterday in a Hangout. You know Mr. Jingles, and he's that little bell at the tippy top when you're on your computer. I'm talking desktop, and you see the full screen, and he's that little bell that when he is there, he'll say you have all these messages. Well, the trick is when you right click on Mr. Jingles, you have the option of opening a new tab. So then it's full screen for you. And I did not know that you could right click on Mr. Jingles. So, because usually if I'm looking at those notifications, I have to look in that little column over there on the right, and then you just, you can quickly fly by. But the problem is when you do that, and then you want to respond to somebody, and once you do, it shoots it out of there as read. And then you're like, wait, I wasn't done with that. I wanted to respond or something. So then you have to go down and go down and go down and find the spot that says previously read so that you can recover it. But when you use the Mr. Jingle, right click on him, then it comes in a new tab, and then it doesn't fly that stuff off your screen that you already read it. It's just like looking at your regular post.
Stream. Cool.
I like it.
Cool. Well, I was doing a little research today, and one of the things that I found out about was I was going through Christine DeGraff's one of her posts on this, and she had something where, and I don't know how to do this, so I don't know if you want to play around with it and see if we can make it happen today, but when you're bringing people into your groups, you can set up a separate circle to bring people into, and keep that circle separate from your other circles so that you don't get any notifications on it. Now, the only way I know to do notifications is just you can mute them and turn them off and turn them on and do things like that by circle, by communities, pages. I mean, you can do your own and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't that was kind of, I didn't know you could do that, so that was news to me. Does anybody know about that?
No.
Okay.
You mean you're creating a circle of contacts for that particular hangout? Or,
Not a hangout, but
not a
just
hangout.
that's what I understood. Okay. Laura's going to jump on here in a little bit too.
Okay.
But that's let me see. Dustin, let me give you a link here. And y'all talk amongst yourself for a quick minute. Let me grab this. Okay, here we go. Here's the resource. Cool.
So when you're changing your notifications on the bell there, what is something you would change it to add or subtract something, or do you have any recommendations on that, Melanie?
Well, are we talking about going into the background, the settings page of our Google Plus profile page where we have that whole list of, do you want notifications from anyone or everyone, or is that what we mean?
Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, if you go on the left-hand side of your profile, go all the way down at the bottom, you've got that settings on the bottom down there. You click in there, and then you can control pretty much all of your stuff.
Right. So, like, what would you omit? What would you take out, or what would you add?
Well, I think what I generally have to do often is I don't want to follow a huge number of people, because then that means that I'm going to see everything they post, from another cat picture and another cat picture after that and another cat picture. So and I don't like to mute people, because somehow that is a penalty against them. If individuals receive too many mutes, then that's signaling Google that you are disturbing others. So rather than that, it's better to control your notifications so that you don't have to mute or report someone. So
not penalizing them. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see. I've heard that before, but I don't know I don't know for sure if that's accurate. Do you? Because in the things that I'm in what I was looking at, and the post that I was looking at, I mean, one of the things that Christine does, she mutes her own posts after when she's on Hangouts and stuff like that. After it's over and everything, after she's finished doing all of her comments and stuff, she mutes her own post. So I would think if she's doing that's probably not a problem. And I just clicked the wrong link here. So.
Well, I wonder if there's two kinds of mutes.
Well, I mean, you can mute and report. If you mute and report, that definitely counts against them. But just muting them just delays you don't see them as much in your stream. Actually, it cuts them out of your stream if you mute them. So.
Well, have you ever received notifications from a person that says, "Hey, if you don't stop sending me stuff, I'm going to mute you," and you won't like that?
No, I haven't seen that yet. And I wish I could.
And am I saying I received some of those? Yes. Just because I think in the beginning, when I didn't understand that if I want more people to see my posts, I was like giving them individual, and then it was ending up in their email box, their inbox. So I had to quickly learn that, I just want to go to public. I don't want to go to public and people's individual mail inbox.
Yeah,
that was in my early days.
Yeah, we chatted about that a couple shows back. Although I think I spammed you today, Dustin.
Happens, I suppose.
But
so tell me, what would you say about?
I keep seeing people doing that same thing, and I'll get 2 or 3 of the same content there. people are sharing to their circles and extended circles and doing it more than they should there, and I'll get 2 or 3 of the same posts. You know, it's not, doesn't make you look very good.
Is it
Yeah.
a form of spamming like on Facebook then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they will. Now, if you don't use public, that means you don't want it going out on your general post. So then it's okay, but don't include if you've got. Sometimes we have the same people in several of our circles, so you don't want to send the same message to 15 circles and have that same person within every one of those circles, because then they will receive it 15 times.
Well, what happens is, depending on you can set your settings up to do. You can control 100% of what you see every day. Your first 4 circles, I think, at the top. Like if you've got 12 circles or 50 circles, or I forget. I think you maybe can have 500 circles. I can't remember what the upper limit is, but you can have a bunch of them. But you can, whoever you've got in your first 4 circles are what comes through your overall stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can click between those circles. So basically, I keep the people that I want to look at in those 4 circles, and then have other stuff. And then if people comment on my stuff, then I go check them out and take a look at them too. So that's kind of how I control things in this stuff. And then I've got some people I want to see all their stuff. Some people I just want to see a modicum of stuff, and some people I don't necessarily want to see very much at all. So you can control your individual settings. If you go there in your settings on the left-hand side, go down toward the bottom and click on that and take a look at that, you will find you can kind of go through there and play with them and kind of see what things happen. But if you control your 4 circles up at the top and define those circles like you want them found, and then control your notifications. You can get SMS text when things happen. You can get emails when different things happen, and you can also turn all those things off too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can set your settings so that you basically don't get anything from anybody unless they comment. I mean, you can get down very, very fine controls on Google+. It's really amazing how you can do that. But I've got a resource, and it talks more about that, and there's a link down below that, and there are a couple posts by Mervik Holmes, and let's see, the other one is Christine DeGraff, and both of those go through that and kind of walk you through what they recommend on some of the individual settings and things like that. But what I was going to do, Dustin, if you want to take a look at this real quick, let me. I just now was able to find it. Let me pop. It's this link right here, and you might want to just look at one of those links that's on there and see if there's anything in there in particular that you want to bring up or anything.
I had a question just on the photos in your settings.
Yeah.
You get what, 15 gigabytes on your profile there? Is there, like, say I'm uploading GIFs and other big file images like that, is there a way to get back in there and delete those so you can manage some of your account, or do you only, it appears you only have the setting to just purchase more space?
You should be able to delete them if you don't want them. And I wasn't aware that there was a limit on how much space you had. Hey, Laura. Look
Hello.
who joined us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Hey, it turns out school's out for the summer. I was rowdying up, I guess simmering down the children, so they should be good for a little while. How's everyone else?
Good.
The only person that's not good is Dustin's got tinnitus in both ears, so he was down in Costa Rica getting his dive certification and came up and down a little bit too much too fast.
Oh wow, well I guess it's worth it, huh?
I hope so. Yeah. It was beautiful out there.
That's good.
You're gonna have to share some pictures with us. But he was just asking. He was just talking about. Do you know if there's a anybody here know if there's a limit on what your storage space is for your photos and stuff?
I think there is, because they tell you that if you need more space, you can purchase it.
Yeah.
So there has to be some limit. What that is, I don't know, but I think it's you'd have to. It's like mega. You'd have to have so many pictures that it's likely that you will not have to buy more space.
Well,
especially for our individuals.
Evidently, Dustin's already at it. So
I'm already getting close. I've got 9.3 gigabytes out of 15 used, so I'm at 60% here, and I don't even use Google that much, but I suspect things like my uploaded animations, animated GIFs, and things like that take up a lot of space.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
You can. I think you. I mean, I know you can delete them because I've deleted stuff out of there before.
I might have to go back through and just gain some space.
be selective about what you've got out there, huh?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm posting a lot of high quality images, and if it's like that, it's going to eat up a lot of space quick.
It'll do it.
And your picture space is all your whole Google products. So I think does that include that? I mean, that's all inclusive.
That's a big deal. I'm seeing here you can do $1.99 a month for 100 gigs.
Yeah, I mean they just lowered the pricing on that, and it's really cheap. So I mean you can buy tons of it for very little.
I might just have to start posting to Tumblr or Pinterest or something and just sharing from there.
No! Don't abandon the plus.
Don't abandon the plus.
Tell me a bit more. I'm not really familiar with Google Plus. I mainly use it to do Hangouts. But what I would say, what difference or what benefits do you see when using Google Plus compared to Facebook, let's say? What do you like about Google Plus compared to Facebook? Am I allowed to say Facebook?
Yeah, you can say Facebook. I mean,
dodge the lightning. I tell you.
Facebook. No, that's just some people don't understand Facebook. A lot of people here on Google Plus have been here from the beginning, and they don't particularly like Facebook. But I mean, you guys are fully aware. I mean, Laura, Facebook is a killer. A killer,
and from you,
killer
I know
platform.
Google Plus is too.
Yeah, I mean Google Plus is great for search engine stuff, but I mean they're disappearing some keywords and stuff too. So to me that seems like they're moving a little bit toward the Facebook thing too. And Facebook for me is a paid platform. Although I know one guy that does no ads at all, and he gets 1.5 million hits a day to his blog from Facebook posts. I forget how many, but he's all just free posting on Facebook. And he's a client of a buddy of mine, and he's just blowing it out.
You know what else? That note section in Facebook, I don't use it. I'm a little guilty of not being super active on Facebook because I do the ad side of it, but the note section on Facebook, it's kind of like cool like Google Plus is, because I've noticed lately that it ranks. Keywords rank from the note section in Facebook pages. People probably have no clue, because when I was doing the research, I looked at the pages and I could tell they weren't real active marketers or aggressive, and I could tell it was probably totally by accident, which is cool, so good for them. But with you guys, I don't know, maybe we talked about this last time I was here, but there was some company out there that did a promotion, Aurora, and because I work with small businesses, so this is kind of exciting to tell them. It was like a car company, Ford or whatever. So they had some promotion out there where you had to add us to your Google circle for whatever reason, to add them into some sort of, it was one big promotion, but the people had to add them into their Google circle. Now from that point on, anytime any one of those people went to Google and searched anything about cars, they would show up right there in the results because those are their keywords. So how awesome is that?
Your Google posts, basically you can treat Google just like a blog, and you can do long posts on it, but you format it like you do a blog post, but you want your keywords in the title, you want your keywords mentioned, ever so often during the stuff, and but they get indexed just like that.
Yeah.
And your pages, your communities, and your profiles are all active, or all have juice on them. So, and some of the links in your about used to have juice on them, and I think they still do, but I'm not positive about that particular item.
Maybe we should let me say a distinction between Facebook and Google+. Facebook is a closed network, meaning you have to be a member of Facebook for all those link juices to work, because they have a separate algorithm. So they kind of play in their own playground, where Google Plus and YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn, they play on the search engine side, which means they're an open network. So,
well, Twitter's not an open network like that. I mean, I've seen some stuff where they're not always open. They change the API from time to time, and that Google is, unless they can see it all the time, they're a little bit leery about doing some things with it. But Twitter does show up in search.
Yeah.
But Facebook shows up in search too. But it's just Facebook is more of a closed network, though. It's harder for them to read that stuff, is the way I understand it.
Yeah, and you can search people's tweets in Google search, but it's very difficult but possible to search a person's post when they're on Facebook. Now, plus we have to remember that small businesses in Facebook, that's where we have the struggle, because we have to figure out where our best return on investment is when we place those marketing ads. Where, Skittles, they have over 1 million followers. They can afford the ads that cost them $5,000 a month or a week. Where we, as small business owners, well, let's go back to Skittles. If Skittles had 16% of 1 million people who viewed that's a good number of people. But if I had 100 followers on Facebook and only 16 people saw what I posted, then that's a very low number.
Yeah, but Laura, school her a little bit about dark posts and audiences and stuff like that.
As far as followers, thank you for that distinction. You really taught me something there. I didn't know the difference, and that's good to know. But as far as the likes, I was actually having this conversation with a current client of mine yesterday, because he's just so successful and so smart, but he just doesn't get this online thing. And he's like, well, I don't want to put money. People just don't want to put money into something they don't know what they're going to get out of it. And I know it takes a long time to get a lot of followers on Facebook. I've tried that before, and so I can't do it. Well, first of all, you can run ads to get followers, aka likes, but there's not that many likes on my page, because that's not really where the money is. Like anything else, your money's in your list, your money's in your leads. You can run a bunch of different ads, basically. So forget about who your followers are and create your own, basically your own list of people that are going to see your ad, and you put it in front of them. And like Tom said, the dark post, it's just putting it in their news feed, and then you get them to act on it. But if you do some research, like for us, it's really competitive. For this guy, I just look at his competitors, I see what they're doing, the people that are excited, which we should do that too. People that are excited about his posts and the type of information they're posting. I put my client stuff in front of them, they go crazy for it too. It becomes really like stupid simple, and I hate that word. But the return is always a matter of optimizing. You can never just say you're going to get this for this. Never. But it's fun. Ads definitely, it's like you can get results in a matter of a couple hours. When you're talking SEO and things like that with a client, I get really uncomfortable, and I say, like, yeah, we'll make your website SEO'd around a keyword, and you could get some SEO services, but I feel comfortable getting you results immediately. Therefore, do you have an ad spend budget?
Well, I mean, the fastest way to get something going is with paid ads. I mean, that's definitely true. As long as you're targeting correctly and you're testing your stuff and doing all that kind of thing. But
your followers are social proof, basically. They're never really a limit on what's going to happen for you.
And your likes aren't necessarily targeted either. So
no.
Aurora, do you have anything you want to jump in and say about any of this, or?
No, I mean, I was actually quite interested to find out a bit more about the Google Plus because, well, yeah, Google in general, because I don't really use it apart from Hangouts, really. So right now, I'm actually learning. Quite interesting.
Well, I mean, Hangouts are fantastic. So, if you take those things and put them on your blog and expand it out and write it as a post too, and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can really get some good juice off that.
Yes, actually, now that reminds me. Sorry, Tom. It came back to me. My question is the following. You mentioned, Laura, about the Facebook notes, and yes, I realized that as well, and I saw that. And then you've got as well on when you, let's say, post a video or write a comment, and some of the work that you post using Google Plus can appear on when you do a research, so on the search engine. So my question is, what is like the secret formula to have your content there? Because I've tried all kind of ways to make it come on the search engine, and sometimes it happens, and sometimes it does. So it doesn't make sense. I'm not sure if there is like any like specific rules to follow to make sure that whatever you create is actually ranking, which is absolutely huge because I've seen some posts which was posted on Google Plus with not really like necessarily a lot of value into it. However, because it was placed on Google Plus, ta-da-da, it was on the first page of Google, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So if you were to tell me, how does it work? Is there a logic behind it, or is it just luck, a bit like the Facebook notes?
That was your question, Laura.
Yeah, my short question.
I think that one thing that Ray Higdon's doing this too. He's giving away something for free to add him to his Google circles. One way to make sure that you do show up in other people's search results is by having them add you to their circles. That's keyword based, right? This stuff is all keyword based.
No, that is not. That is it's a private search versus a when you're signed into Google Plus, anybody that you've got circled and that you interact with, their posts are going to show up first.
Right.
Okay? So if you go in and click it as private, then that's a more pure ranking on Google Plus. But I'm sorry, I'll keep going.
Oh no, I wanted one of you to answer. That's my only take, is that it's keyword based, and that if they're in your circle, it'll show up.
Well, one of the things, I mean, if you're looking at trying to rank something, Aurora, are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
My baby.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things that you're doing is, you've got your on-page optimization and your off-page optimization, and there's you got to do your keyword research, and then you optimize based on your on-page optimization formats, and then you go to your promoting it, and there's different ways that you can do the promotion and stuff on the back end, but that's so. And in general, just as a general statement, You know, the more authority that you have on your blog, the easier it is to rank something. And then if you do your keyword research and you have something that's not real, don't have a you know, real heavy searches for it, it's not real competitive, those are much easier to get ranked. You know, so if you've got something that's got 500 searches or 1,000 searches or 200 searches a month, then you can, as long as it's a keyword that's gonna get them to something that you want them to go to, that you can, you know, post it so that it's going to help you out in some way, then those things you can rank pretty easily. And basically, if you get a lot of content out there and you're getting, you know, 1 or 2 pieces of leads a day from each piece of content, you know, you get 100 pieces of content out there that you're getting a lead a day on, and that's 100 leads a day, you know, and that's a really good thing. And in general, though, you're not going to rank 100% of your content no matter what. I mean, you know, you do pretty good maybe to get 50% of it ranked.
But does it follow the basic ranking rules then for everything else? You know, the backlinks, the whole deal. Keyword research, like you said, on-page, off-page optimization. It's still the same thing.
Well, the thing that matters more about your on-page stuff is the schema markup, and I'm not sure how many people are doing that. That's kind of, you know, that's one of the things I'm struggling with right now and working on getting better with. But I ran across, and I probably shouldn't even say this, but I ran across a piece the other day where you can I went in and took a blog post that I had and started to reformat it based on the schema markup, and it was something that I just ran into, and then I know I copied it, kept it somewhere, but I can't find it again. So I got to go back and figure it out again because I didn't get to play with it enough. But your markup, your schema markups, help out a lot. You know, put authorship on it, which is not a ranking factor, but you know, it doesn't hurt you, and it's going to, if you do it, it's just going to get your picture in the search engines. And if you've got your picture up there, people will click on that before they'll click on other stuff, even if you're a lower ranking. But you know, it's your title, it's not your tags necessarily, but your you know, just your on-page optimization, just your normal stuff. I mean, yeah, go ahead, Melanie.
I wanted to help Aurora with her question. With the reason, I find that the reason why we see so many things ranking as they do because they're on a Google Plus post is because Google Plus gives us the most opportunity for engagement. You know, and so the more we are active on Google Plus and the more we comment and +1 and share, then that affects the algorithm with each of us.
Well, so, I don't think I think that's not a causal relationship. That's a byproduct relationship. I mean, that's my understanding based on Eric Inga and Mark and all those guys. So that is not a one-to-one relationship as I understand it.
Yeah, based on my knowledge. And that's my disclaimer right there. Based on when I started with Google Plus a year ago, I noticed that I was seeing my posts being ranked higher, like my articles are being seen, you know, my blog writings, my blog entries and LinkedIn, because I was souping up, you know, really doing the engagement part. And that made a difference for me, and that was like going from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or less to me, because I've never seen that kind of thing happen before.
Well, I mean, if you take those posts and put them on Google Plus, you'll definitely get some juice from it. Mm-hmm. And then I mean, there is a relationship as to the activity on the post and stuff, but I don't think it's a causal relationship. But and the other thing too is, are you doing, when you're seeing that and you're doing your searches, are you signed in or are you signed out?
Most of us are signed in.
Right.
Yeah, and when
almost everybody's signed in.
Incognito. But then Mark Trappigan had a very interesting post months ago where he was ranking higher in the search results because he was sharing somebody else's material.
Well,
because of his authorship ranking.
It's not, the authorship is not a ranking factor. Authorship is flat out not a ranking factor. He's got it because he has his authority. His authority is greater. In other words, the higher authority your site has, and that's got something to do with the interaction that you have. That helps build your authority. But your authority sites rank stuff easier. He's like a 5 or a 6. Ronnie Benser's like in that range too. And I mean, basically anything they write is going to get ranked. Not everything, but I mean a lot of the stuff will get ranked. So I mean, that's how it works. And one of the ways that you can build your authority is by posting, your content on Google Plus and taking your blog post. If you make a piece of content, the next thing you want to do, I mean, you want to spread it out. You want to share it on Facebook. You want to share it on put it up on Pinterest, SlideShare, Google Plus,
Instagram.
Yeah, and I mean, there's about 7 or 8 different places that you can just send it out. YouTube. I mean, and most of these are like 9s and 10s. They're very high authority rankings, and so because they've, Google Plus has cut down so hard on a lot of the, it's getting more towards semantic search. They've cut down so much on some of the backlinks strategies that some people have been using because it's considered black hat, that these high authority links really count. You still got to get a lot of other links, and you can do other things that will drive direct traffic. And that direct traffic will drive stuff too. And then the more people you have on your email list as you do content and send that out, that helps move traffic into your properties too. So all that kind of works together. Does that kind of make sense? Or?
Yes, it does make sense. But what I've seen as well is that I can understand that some people have some kind of authority on Google+, but you will also find some people who are kind of new, but because they have commented on somebody's content and by accident, in a way, written down the keyword in the first sentence, well, their comment is coming up on the search engine as, well, on the first page of Google, when actually it is not their content, but somebody else's content that they have shared, which gives authority to the content they've shared. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So is it a matter of having people commenting on your stuff? And what I've seen is of cases where one comment will not have, one post on Google Plus will not have any comments, however will rank. So probably it is because of the authority that the person has, and then somebody else would comment on somebody else's post or video, and it would rank as well. So now, yeah, maybe I answered the question.
I understood perfectly. I got that.
So maybe if you build authority, what you're going to write, it is going to rank because you are an authority. So it's about building your authority. If not, have somebody else.
Well, it's about building relationships too.
Yeah.
And if you build relationships, and it's about audience, and it's about bringing other people's audience into your audience. It's about spreading and sharing the audience, huh?
It's what we call authority then. When you share when you build connection with people on Google Plus, is it correct? No?
Yeah, it builds links too. So all this stuff that you're doing is building links, and so the more links that you have out there, and the different authority that it has, and the people that you're interacting with, and they've all got audiences too. So you're bringing those audiences in. So I mean, it all kind of works together.
Right.
But I mean, the basic thing is just Google on-page optimization and do all that kind of stuff, and just realize that the schema markup in there is getting more important and stuff. You've got those kinds of formats in there that help to pull stuff and make it cleaner, and make it easier for people to see and spot.
Can I ask a kindergarten question?
I don't know if we're qualified. We're not even teachers.
When it comes to these Google circles, I had these things like separated into crazy things. Now, the reason I'm asking is I have like an entrepreneur circle where like all of my entrepreneur friends are, but then I have one that like they're followers. I follow them. And then I have like acquaintances. I really don't know who they are, but I know that I know them from somewhere, so I can't classify them. I did that all, and I have a couple different ones, but I did that all in the purpose, like I had a purpose for doing that. I can't really remember. I wanted to share stuff, and I wanted it to be relevant, but I don't even know what that means, because when I see stuff shared with me, first of all, I don't know what it means when it says shared privately, and then how do you share stuff? Because some things that I would share with you guys, I wouldn't necessarily want to share with somebody, an 8-figure earner that I am following. You know what I mean?
On Google Plus Post, I always post everything. Basically, the way you want to do it is you want to post everything publicly, and you only want to share to circles if somebody's opted into a particular. If you send out, if you're interested in this or you're interested in that, then opt in to my notification circle. You keep them in a separate circle, and you just stay on topic with that circle.
Oh, you actually say that, and you build circles that way?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and I mean, basically, if you want to,
it's like private groups then.
Yeah, but you group people by interest. Basically, Google Plus is organized. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you do it? So everybody in here is basically have particular interest, and there's a community for every interest that's ever been probably. But there's communities out there. So what you do is you go in and interact with the communities, and make comments and share things and take a look at what they're doing, and then start helping out, and then start sharing some of your stuff in there, and that you'll build a following quickly like that, and it'll be more targeted too, because what happens is a lot of times if you're getting a lot of followers real quickly, they're not really targeted. So you want to get into the communities for your targeted stuff. Or tell people to opt in to your stuff and stick them in a list, and you can so just post public all the time, unless you've got them in an opt-in list.
So do you find the quality of the relationships better on Google Plus?
Yes, you get more shares, you get more people are more open. I mean, you can get hold of anybody you want to. Just about.
One thing that Tom showed me a couple weeks ago that I thought was interesting is the hat tip. You guys are familiar with that? Making sure that you give credit to people. That you found something cool. You give them a little hat tip, and then you plus whoever wrote the original content. And I think to me that's one of the hugest differences in between Facebook and Google Plus is that Google Plus is much more geared towards giving credit towards whoever found whatever it was or what tip.
Instead of saving it to your computer and then posting it originally.
That's what we do on Facebook.
Yeah, you don't do that on Google Plus. What you do if you find something, whoever found it, you mention it, and then whoever posted it, you mention them too, and then you add your commentary to it too. And some of the guys that have huge. I mean, you've got some people in here with 5,000 followers that have 12 million interactions, and they tend to write longer posts. And
that sounds fun, Aurora. Let's go play.
and Tom, can I interject a tip?
Yeah, sure.
When you mentioned that you want to share your Google Plus posts with the world, there's a way to do that. And what you do is after you post something on your Google Plus account, you know, within your profile, once it's posted, then you go back in and you look at the little caret that's in the upper right hand corner of that post, and when you click that, it'll say you know, who's interacted with this, but you want to look for the thing that says link to post. And then when you click on that, you get the exact URL to that post, because everything you post on Google Plus actually becomes a separate page. So then you copy paste that link and share it to your Twitter account, to your LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever. So that way people can see it, because you don't have to be a Google Plus member to read anything on a Google Plus post.
That's
and
good.
with the Google Plus post, your limit is 10,000 characters. That's a lot. So,
Well,
you know, that's why we sometimes see very long posts, because you can have up to 10,000 characters.
yeah.
That was a good tip.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go do the embed code. You can just click on the timestamp and copy the URL up in the top, and then shorten that through Buffer. And your Buffer, if you shorten it through Buffer as opposed to Bitly and stuff like that, you can spread it out there, and it'll never Facebook will never stop that from going out. If you ever get stopped on Facebook for sending out links, the way to get around that is to go to Buffer, because every time you do a thing in Buffer, it gives you a new link, so you've always got a fresh link, and it'll track your clicks on that in Buffer also. The tracking's not as good as Bitly, but it still tracks it.
And then there's Hootsuite as well. I use Hootsuite. So, and that's a free account. And Buffer, I just haven't switched over to Buffer yet. I will when
I think you'd like a Buffer a lot better.
Would I?
Yeah, it's a lot simpler. It's a lot easier, and you can spread things out all over the place. And Hootsuite is just, I mean, that's Mike Alton's deal, but and lots and lots of people use it. But I find it a little complicated personally. But
Is Buffer? I think I heard about it.
yeah, Buffer app, Buffer app.
That's right. Is it kind of a social sharing site?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Friends plus me. I mean, you can. Buffer is a distribution site. Feedly is a distribution site. Google Plus is a distribution site.
Right.
And you can feed all this stuff out, and you can take your post and do all kinds of things with them from one thing, and just spread it all over the place.
Right.
And you can use if this then that, and send things to I think Dig and all kind. I mean, there's a lot of places you can send that to using that too. You got to run.
I got to squeak out of here in the next 5 minutes, so I want to give you a couple quick Instagram tips.
Yeah, sorry about that. Time got away from me, buddy.
No worries. I think it was a good show. I've been using Instagram pretty heavily in the last couple months, and one of the things I really like about it is that it was acquired by Facebook, so they're kind of pushing it pretty heavily too. This may not work real well for you if you have an iPhone. So I'm sorry about that. I haven't played with the other applications if you're an iPhone user. But I just want to tell you about a really cool program called, it's an app for your phone, and it's called Tags for Likes.
Tags for like?
Put that in the chat here. Tags for Likes.
Okay.
And what that does
And that's
is,
that's an Android deal, right?
Yeah, it's an app. I'm not sure if there's an iPhone part of it, but what's great about it is when you the hashtags is a big part of what is being used on Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest. A lot of places are picking up hashtags, and one of the things is typing the damn hashtags in takes forever on a little phone here. So the Tags for Likes creates a bunch of different categories that you can go in and pull the categories, say for photography, or there's hundreds of different categories, and it will put up the standard 30 tags. So you can copy and paste those tags immediately, which are the hottest tags for that particular subject.
That's cool.
And then when you go to post on Instagram, you already have that copied here. It makes it really simple to do. When you post on Instagram, you post that in Instagram, and you may want to edit it. You may want to do directly 30 at once, but it'll cut down in a lot of time thinking about what would be a cool hashtag for this. This is already the top hashtag. It's already plugged in. You put it in instantly. And then just real quick before I gotta leave here, we can do a follow-up on Instagram, but there's also a really cool one called InstaQuote. And a huge part of how I built a large following on my Facebook fan page was just creating daily quotes that I would just find an inspirational quote from somewhere, and I would post it to an original picture of mine. And so I would do that through my computer, and it would take me a while to do some editing on there. There's some other cool stuff like PicMonkey.com. You can do that online really easy. But what I like about InstaQuote is it allows you, this is one I just made, to take the quote, instantly put it in there. You can change the text. You can change the background image of your stuff. And then I take the tags that I took from the tags for likes, and then I plug that into InstaQuote. So now I've just made a brand new image with a cool quote on it, and I posted 30 tags to it that are the hot tags for right now. So
can I ask a question, Dustin?
Sure.
The first app that you shared about the hashtags, do those change daily? Because if it's a trending hashtag, or does it stay the same?
I think it's based on the top hashtags. I forget the site that there was a training I went through. I wrote down a site on the top 100 hashtags, and I think it does comb through there. But I'm not sure if it's static or if it's updated, consistently. I would say it's probably just static.
Okay.
And you might need to, I've had to edit out a few of the tags in there that don't really relate to my picture. I don't want to be connected to.
Yeah. Okay.
It's quite interesting about using quotes because everybody would say any kind of thing, but I remember I actually saw one top leader saying, "Oh, I can't stand people sharing quotes. It's just a waste of time." And actually, I don't think it is a waste of time. What I think about it is that it is very inspirational, for some people, wherever they are at in their lives. Sometimes they can read a quote and it really talks to them. And it is a kind of icebreaker where now you can start talking to people, not necessarily strict about, this is my business, join me, but you talk about something which is going to connect with them, connect with you, and it's how you build relationship. I think it's just...
And it's being transparent and having a personality.
Sorry? Yes, absolutely. Because what you use is really dependent on what you like. I wouldn't be posting something about death skulls and saying death is there, you're going to die. This is not really bringing people to you. So
no, that's a really good point, because if you have a picture that's on, that's a great picture, you may have a lot more chance that people will share that picture or interact with it if it's a quote that they can then use on their page or something like that. So. Absolutely. And with that said, I'm going to squeak out for today, guys. I got to get to work.
All right, buddy. Thanks. Glad to see you. Good to see you.
Show.
Yep. Next Tuesday.
6 o'clock Mountain Time and 12 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you next Tuesday.
All right.
Bye,
Have a great day.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we? There's your son. What's his name? Aurora.
Yeah, this is my baby Jessie.
Hey Jessie, how are
Jessie.
you? You're on camera, buddy.
Hello. No, it's not Tati. He thinks that one of you is auntie.
You're going to get him hooked to the camera now.
My mom has my children upstairs. They couldn't just be hanging around here. My kids be knocking down lights and stuff.
Spaghetti? Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sweet. We've got I just want to let people know that April Marie Tucker did a great Instagram webinar, and I've got a link in the resource box where you can go and look at that. So anybody that wants to take a look at that training, and it is wonderful.
Is anyone using that right now?
How do you mean?
Like, has anyone actually taken our training and implemented the steps?
I'm getting ready to. I'm going to. I'm not on Instagram now, and I've got a trip that I'm going to take tomorrow. So I'm going to try and get it. The way I understand it, it's all phone apps, and I'm not real good on my phone. But I'm going to try and go back through that, take a look at it, and get it going, and see what I can do with that over the next 4 days.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I learn new stuff all the time, and it literally gets worked into my plan. Like, I know I'm going to work on Google+, and I have some things set up, but everything gets worked into my plan. And I just drop everything and go do it, because I have things that are working for me. So I was curious if anyone did just do it, because I'm hearing good things about it.
I have not, but did you see her webinar? I mean, she basically got on there and started one and started getting a little bit of traction, and then it disappeared, or she thought it disappeared, and she started another one. And I mean, she went right through it, and she's using one tool that just blew that whole thing up. She shows you how to set everything up and how to get traction on it. And I think those two, she gives you a lot of different, and most of the tools are free, but there is one paid tool that's on there that is like $9 a month or something like that, and she just blew it up with that. And I mean, she got like, she made some money on that quick, so it was pretty cool.
I mean, there are so many strategies out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically what you want to do is you want to get good at one, and then then you want to add another one in, and then you want to add another one in. You don't want to jump, because the only time you get any traction, anything you do the first time, you're probably not going to do that well at when you're just starting out. So number one, you got to make a decision to do it. You got to set your goals, and you got to do it every day. And as you do it every day, you get better and better and better, and then you start tooling up on things, and you can spread this stuff out and get huge audiences. But you have to do it every day. And once you've got so many leads that you want coming in from one thing, then you can just kind of keep that going on automatic and set up something else, and still add to it and still do all this stuff and still do it within a reasonable amount of time. But it's got to be a habit. You got to make habits out of stuff. You got to do it every day. So.
It is true. Actually, I've got a question about it. I do find social media, when you're starting, great, because you can start for free. Facebook definitely is free. But what I realize as well is that free is not free.
Right.
Because free, when you actually spend something like 3, 4, or 5 hours, not just chatting to people on Facebook, or pretty much, but you are building connections, is still taking a lot of time, which means that if you don't have the time to follow up with your 30 messages, you have wasted your 5 hours, because everything is about the follow-up. So I definitely believe that using Instagram or using Facebook or using Twitter and all of that is great, but I think that using paid marketing strategies is also quite important, because otherwise there is just so much time that you can spend connecting with people all day. And I love it, but I do find it quite draining.
Yeah, but I mean, anytime you want traffic, the fast way to get it is just to buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you've got it going somewhere that converts, and you can track what it's doing and change it so you get the conversions up on it, and then you can scale it real easy too, and you go with different sources of traffic. But I mean, yeah.
Very true.
So.
Laura. What would you say, Laura?
Oh, I said, yeah, that's very true. We're teaching a thing in our course that we have going on right now, that because everybody at first, they just want a bunch of people to pay attention, a bunch of people to buy in, and all that good stuff. And there's like this big thing that, first of all, I didn't even think really about paid traffic the first month I started. I just had this notion that it was understood that one day I would get there. And I never thought to just do it up front. And I didn't know what that one day would be. What would my income level be? Whatever. When are you ever comfortable with throwing away a certain amount of money that you don't know what you're going to get back for? But like Aurora said, it comes down to, like, what do you have more of, time or money? And if you have a lot of time, then yeah, do that kind of stuff. But what I like is Facebook. I went into the paid stuff. I just started doing it. Luckily, I found a mentor that kind of helped me tweak the horrendous advertisements I was running. I mean, I just didn't even know what I was talking about. I wasn't hypey. I was very boring and straight to the point. And I had to hype it up a little bit. But then, I mean, it just soared. I have a screenshot from my Facebook ad, the first one that, like, I still can't even get a cost of a lead. It was 35 cents I paid per lead. And I'm thinking of those numbers and it's like blowing my mind. But I still can't get it on Facebook. Nowadays, you're lucky to spend $2, $2.50, $3 a lead on Facebook. So anyways, yeah, that was hard to scale up. Plus, it's really hard when you get into, like, serious, you're advertising and you got all these different campaigns running. It's really hard to track your ads on Facebook. If you have multiple ads, you kind of have to run one at a time to really figure it all out. It's very hard to track once you get into doing all that stuff. So it didn't feel real good that way. We tried to do a bunch of different things. So here we are now doing the PPV stuff, and it's like a different world. It's amazing. It's simpler. A lot of the people that, you know, wanted us to help them with Facebook and stuff, when we show them this, it's a no-brainer. But how this all ties together is that, yes, you can run massive amounts of traffic. Where I'm at now is trying to niche down. I don't want 1 million followers. I want 1,000 true fans that are going to be with me till the end, and that's it. And when I'm charging $25,000 for a mastermind in Costa Rica, I only want 10 people there. You know, I don't care if I am, you know, like the ooh, look at me kind of thing, because that's really my business model. And I think a lot of people don't think to the end of the road. We kind of just get caught up in trying to get a result, any result. And I definitely was there, talking to people, staying up till 2 in the morning to creep on people in California. But then he wasn't even expecting me, you know. So that I don't even know why I went off on that tangent, but that was a good point. Or a lot of people, it's either like you strike a nerve with the SEO type of organic people or the paid people. It's like we can't just come together. But it all really does truly matter. I see the value you put out there, where you do a lot of free stuff, right? I hate that. Nothing's free. It's value. Yeah. And giving value, giving of your time, being a leader and all that kind of stuff. But the paid stuff, really, it's like the cherry on top, right?
Yes, I think you're right. And it's just so funny. Did you come to my house today? Because I was actually in one of my most wonderful places in my house, the bathroom, and I was like, leads. It seems to be a lot about having leads, a lot of leads, you know, like, I'm a lead maniac. But what I realized is that it's not so much about having so many leads. It's better to gain, let's say, one customer and have that customer to upsell himself or herself to what you are selling than having 10 million customers and none of them are really engaging with you, none of them have any relationship with you. So you are absolutely right by saying, Laura, that 1,000 it would be much better than 1 million. So it's not about I've generated 15,000 leads today, and you know, if you tell me about the connection and how it came back to you, I think it becomes more interesting, because now when you say to somebody exactly, well, this is $10,000, they'll say, oh, this is too expensive. You know, they would say, okay, how can I get my head around it to make it happen? Or, oh yeah, well, if it's from you, it has to be value because they already know you, they like you, close to you. They know that you're not going just to scam them and just run away with the money. And so, absolutely right. So it's just,
yeah, and another part of that, Aurora, a lot of people don't realize that once you do get the traffic and the leads, like a lot of us promote MLSP, so obviously there's always a thing to get the leads, a rush, a competition, the leaderboard, and all that stuff. And I've been on it, and I could be. I'm not saying, oh, I don't like to get leads. Yeah. But a lot of people don't realize when you find, I can go put $10,000 into a campaign. I know exactly what it's going to do. We're working on one right now, a crazy one, Patricia and I, to promote our course that we just created. But the point is, a lot of people don't think about, and this is why she brought me in to teach on branding, and we put it together, because branding is the solution to this, and I don't mean pictures and stuff. People get the traffic, they get the front-end buyers, or they get the 4th day or 7th day autoresponder buyers, you know, from the follow-up series. And then, like you said, they're not engaged, they run away, or I've had people that I've had like a gut relationship with. You know, I've gotten serious in my coaching time with them and really gave of myself and shared some personal things. And just when you get to that point with some people, you think, oh, we're going to be together forever, right? I'm just going to help them, and they're so awesome. They're going to see how awesome they are. And then they just go run off to the next shiny thing, and it's like, oh, my God. Okay, so the point is, even with those people, at the end of the day, if you don't have something in place, people just leave. And so you can run tons and tons and tons of traffic. I can go create all these many different campaigns. I can go to ClickBank, pick a product. I know exactly how to find exactly the traffic source that I need to put the product in front of, and I can put some money behind it. And then what happens after that? I am so dead set on making sure my follow-up series is completely relevant to exactly what I'm doing, and then I segment them from that, you know. And then there's ascension paths where you don't just send random autoresponder stuff. Your offers from that point on have to be relevant. If somebody came in because of a Facebook thing, I'm going to send them a bunch of Facebook training and then offers, and then depending on their behavior, that's where the bulk of my time is spent. It becomes less of like how, and more of how do you make it better? What do you do next? And that kind of stuff. So someone asked me one time when I was coming on a hangout, how many leads have you generated or something? That's not really what's relevant, because if you spend all day just generating leads, are you doing the business stuff? Are you figuring out what your brand is, how to customer retention, that business stuff that we don't do? That's what we got to do.
And an element, I think.
Infusionsoft, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Infusionsoft.
Oh yeah, that's a good tool. It's definitely a good tool.
And I think also we have to remember, to me, and well, don't have to remember it's from me, but I'm just saying. the word ambassador. We want ambassadors to endorse us. You know, because if you have 1,000 leads and not one of those is an ambassador for you that's going to say, yes, I vouch for this product or this service, then you are missing out on more potential leads. So that's part of conversion to me, is the ambassadorship.
Yeah, and that's some of the most qualified. Word of mouth is always king, online, offline, whatever. That's basically all social media is all about. And that's how I have to put it to small business owners so that they understand. But what I do, because we have a media agency, and that's truly what gets most of my time, because we have a media agency, I have a small business owner, right? And they're a little savvy, but not really. Look up my YouTube channel, and I have multiple channels because I do a couple different things. I do some video marketing too. And so he finds some of this stuff, and he's like trying to gauge my professional persona, like who am I professionally based on these videos. And that gets a little gray because I wear a few different hats, all for the same purpose, to get to the same place, but that they don't understand. These business owners don't understand. What we kind of do is in order to put a brand in place, and some people may disagree with me, but I don't care, you have to do like a reality TV kind of thing. You've got to share of yourself. You got to show your kids looking crazy and taking pictures at the park. Put on the camera when you have something to say with your hair sticking up and you don't look so professional, and you give of yourself and you share of yourself, because that is a lot about your brand, your beliefs. Somebody said to me, you know, I separate my religion from my work. That's fine. And I'm not a religious person, but I say I'm a Jesus freak, and I am completely. And you know why? Because for every one person you turn off, you've turned 10 on. So you've got to absolutely talk to your tribe and find your tribe. I spent a lot of time, and this is why I get passionate about this part, spent a lot of time worrying about what I was about to post. Who's going to not like it? Oh my God, I would have so said this a couple of years ago, but now I'm this person. So you've got to just be you, because I say that I'm Christian. I'm a Jesus freak. I'm not a religious weirdo with all these rules and all that stuff. I just love people. I like to live life and give life. That's it. So I'm like, okay, well, what if I say something questionable over here, and then someone pulls the Jesus card on me? You know what? Oh my God, I'm branding myself. So I have the freedom to be exactly who I am, so nobody can really pull any card on me, right?
Absolutely. And the beauty with that is you can really decide who you want to work with.
Exactly.
And so if I don't like you, fantastic. You've got other people who like you. Like discriminating, you know, those who like me, that's okay, and those who don't like me, that's okay too. But those who like me, that's great. We can spend more time together. Like the other day, I sent a blog post, and then I spoke to that lady on the phone, and we were talking about MLSP, and she said, oh, yeah, interesting. Well, she wasn't interested. So eventually, a few weeks later, she comes back to me and says, oh, I'm so sorry. I saw that on your blog that you were a born-again Christian. When can we talk? I'm like, this is nice. You put a stamp.
That's funny. And they come out of the woodwork. They definitely do.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and this is an absolute true statement. You will resonate with certain people and not others.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, anything else.
Amen.
Your vibe is your vibe, and people will pick up on it and be attracted to you, and just like you're attracted to people too. Now, with that in mind, though, you want to be as attractive as you can. But by the same token, if you can have 3 people go up or 5 people go up and talk to the same person, and that person will only deal with one of those 5 people. So you better off just being you, being whoever you are, however you are, and just put it out there.
And remember what Abraham Lincoln said. Abraham Lincoln said, you can please some of the people. Now listen to these words carefully. Write them down if you need. You can please some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but you cannot please all the people all the time.
Yeah.
That's true.
Abraham Lincoln.
That's very true.
I agree.
And I put my 2 cents in. When someone doesn't like me, I say, so what?
Can I do want to make one point about, Laura, what you're talking about. You know, when you start anything, anything that you start off with, doesn't matter if it's free or if it's paid. Okay, one of the things that you want to look at, everything works. It just depends on whether you work it. And when you first start out, whatever you start out with, odds are you're not going to get it right the first time. But if you keep working on it, you get better and better and better and better with it. Okay, but now I forgot what I was going to say. But one of the things that you want to do is, whether it's paid or whether it's you know, one way that may be constructive to look at it, whether it's paid resources or whether it's free resources, are what are you investing to get a return on it?
Absolutely.
You know? And that's how you want to look at it. You want to look at it as your investment producing a return that makes you some money, and that's what you're trying to do more of. And so if you think of it in those terms, you will get better and better and better with it. But you have to do things habitually. You have to do them over time, and you have to test and tweak and change all the time. And different things are going to change. Your strategies, your tactics are going to change all the time. I mean, Facebook changes all the time. Google Plus changes all the time. Everything that you're dealing with changes all the time. Some tools work one day and not the next day. It all changes. You know, so you just have to.
Sorry, that was my chair. It's a little squeaky.
Okay.
I'm getting a new one.
All right. Well, listen, we've been doing this for a long time, so we probably ought to wrap this up now. I've got some things I've got to get going on, and so who y'all say whatever. Whoever, Aurora, you start. Say whatever you want to say, and we'll just go Aurora, then Laura, and then Melanie.
I would say that thank you very much, Tom, for inviting me today. It was great to spend some time with you and with your guest. And one thing I can simply say is all these social media platforms, and I would say as well when you use paid traffic, is really at the end of the day being able to connect and reach out to people. So having a Google Hangout like this, where you are in all different places in the world, has actually enabled us to share some great information from the comfort of our own home. And I've learned many things today, and it was really being like friends. Well, you are friends. Are we friends? Yeah, we are friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sharing something very valuable. So I'm actually quite sad that the Hangout is finishing right now. But we've got things to do. So thank you so much again for inviting me, Tom.
Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure to have you, and we learned from you too, and just had a great time with you. So thank you. Don't hang up yet. Laura?
Oh, okay. I've always, my mouth overfloweth or something like that. I've always got something to say. So just thanks. Thanks for letting me come hang out with you guys. It was great to meet you, Melanie. And I'm looking forward to talking about some more of these things in the future. These hangouts are so important because when I'm like in the tub or I have a moment alone, I find something like this or a hangout and I let it play, and you just pick up nuggets, whether you've known the stuff or you didn't. Things just come to you at different times. So this is a valuable thing that you do every Tuesday. Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. We learned a lot from you and had a great time, so we really appreciate that. Melanie?
Tom, you are a gem because you let me put my makeup on. He's so patient, and he's like, "Yeah, slap it on." And I'm so grateful for that because he allows me, when I'm late, put my makeup on just to dive into. And I'm so glad I met two wonderful new women, and we have a. Me and another panel of other women have a Monday show called Women in Business Today, and it's a Monday night show or Monday day show. So please watch us there, and we can share all kinds of business tips there. And that's the only thing I'm going to plug. I can have more stuff to plug, but I won't. But I'm so grateful that I met two wonderful new ladies. Please connect with me, and I'll do that. And Tom, keep this going. I like this. I really do. And I wish Dustin were still here so we could, Gosh, I felt bad for him today.
Well, I mean, we ran long today. I mean, normally these are quick 30-minute little deals.
Yeah.
Because he's got a hard appointment that he's got to go to every time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But thank you so much for providing this. I just there's value in everything that we all share. Doesn't matter how big or small.
Well, I had a ball. So thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all showing up, and it was just wonderful. And. Just remember, next Tuesday, 12 Eastern Time, we'll be here. So come by and say hey, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the broadcast. But Laura, I need to talk to you for just a minute, though. Okay? So
Alrighty.
Hang up. So is that a you, Aurora? I loved your tiara.
You mean my chair wasn't a good sound enough?
As well.
Yeah, you say your chair.
Yeah.
Stop that. Everybody have a good one. I'll see y'all later.